that, seeing as we had so much interest in how to use the iPad for drawing, I thought I'd just explain a little bit, and then you could have a look yourself and decide whether you want to use an iPad. I find it the best tool I've ever had for quilting. So, but I don't just use it for drawing. I use it for doing my research papers and things like that, and all my research books are in there. No, not all. I have a few, like 20. You know, when I'm looking things up, and then I have to write a paper and things like that, and I can do all sorts. Also, of course, when I'm traveling, I can watch movies or watch Netflix or any of Prime Video and those sorts of things. So for me, it's a portable entertainment system, to be honest. But of course, the main thing I bought it for as an iPad Pro is to do the drawing. Now, this is a 12-inch. They measure from here to here. This is the largest one you can buy. You can get different sorts. You don't have to have an Apple product. But I tend to have Apple products because, you know, I've got 5 computers and everything synchronizes in my phone and my watch and so forth and so forth. So when the first iPad came out, I bought it instantly, and this is my third, and I use it every single day. And certainly when I'm traveling, it's fantastic. So when I'm drawing, I generally use a suite. Here I have Adobe Sketch, Adobe Draw, Adobe Capture, Photoshop, Adobe Brush Color, Fresco, and Lightroom. These are the things I use mainly. And if you're a teacher, you can certainly get them much cheaper, but you can just get 1 or 2, and I think you could pay up to $9 a month for them. So, you know, what's that? 2 cups of coffee, 3 cups of coffee a month? It's not too bad. And it's changed a lot since I first bought an iPad. There are some applications you can use that are quite reasonable. Here in my drawing little box here, one that I would suggest that's very good, and that's paper. And there's lots of little books here that I have drawings in. Have I got one in this one? No, yes. Not so much. Let's go back. So I'll show you how I will do a drawing. So if I'm going to do this drawing, I will just press plus and then open it just like that. And from here down the bottom, I'm going to shift this up a little so you can see. I have a pen, like a fountain pen. Look. So if I press hard, I can do a thicker line, thinner line, just by putting less pressure on the page. Then the good thing is, if I don't want it, then broop, it's gone. Fantastic. Here, I use this too for doing watercolors as well. So let's do the watercolor. Can you see I'm laying my pen, which is an Apple pencil actually, on the side. Let's add another color. If I go over it, it builds up the color. So it'll stay the same color if I don't lift the pen. See how I started again, so then you can see a line there. But there's this little Duvalaki over here. See how that's lit up here, down here? That I can blend them. Look at that. So you might think of some things that you could do with that. It's a lot of fun. This is a pencil here. So this is really a good app to have, and this is called Paper, and it's quite inexpensive. I think it might be free, I'm not sure. I can't remember now because I've had it on there for a long time. When I press this, the pencil, it'll show you can actually do it with your finger. You don't have to have a pen. Well, you're supposed to be able to do it with your finger. There you go. Yes. So you can change things around, and it's really quite nice. I used that a lot in the very beginning when I first started to draw, because it was one of the first ones that was there. Yes, some of you said, oh, they're using kids' programs, and they're great to start with too. I used this colouring book to start with for a while, just looking at ideas, and the rest of the things on here are to change the way things look for me for photos and programs. But, as I said, the Adobe Suite, wherever it is the one that I use the most here. When I first started, I used Adobe Sketch a lot. This is the first one that I began to use. And this one here, this picture here, is all drawn on the iPad. Now, you can see down the side here, lots of different layers, and I would explain all that to you. However, under here, this is my photo, this is my drawing. Under here, on the image layer, is actually a photo of the child. Now, I didn't trace this one, but I could have traced it. But I put it there to be able to see the colouring in his eye. However, I can, let me close it. Let's see if I've got one where I've traced it. Sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. So this is fabulous because you can actually, this one, let me see. So this is Kay England's, one of her llamas, and I took a photo of her llama, and here it is here. Can you see that? And when I'm drawing it, I can enlarge it, but let me show you. So I would make it almost like a tracing, and then I can enlarge it, and then I can trace over the lines. Can you see that that's a great advantage to you? And then when you're finished, I take it out completely. And then all that's left is the sketch lines that I've done. Over the side here, I have a pencil, a pen, a brush, a paint, and this is the eraser here. And there's also watercolour on here too, you see? So Adobe Sketch I use a lot for really fine drawings. This is a picture of my granddaughter, and this was the photo of her underneath. You can't really see it, but that's her photo underneath, and then I painted over the top. So it's really great, but I mean that's not necessarily what I would use for quilting. Have I got one under here? Image layer, yes. There he is. And then that's the sketch. And this one was drawn so that I could actually enlarge that and trace it onto fabric and then stitch it with. I might do that. I need to do one in a couple of weeks. I might use this one. So that's just two of the applications that I use. Now, many of you have said to me, oh my goodness, you know, I haven't got, you know, my hands wobbly. It's unsteady. So Adobe Draw, you can adjust in your program, and I would show you how to do that. Now this is Adobe Draw. I mean, I can do a fairly smooth line, but if I had a wiggly hand, what happened? Did you see what happened there? Look. Did you see what happens to that line? When I take my hand off, it smooths out. And so you can get a very professional drawing with that. And the other advantage of Adobe Draw is that I can hear sirens outside. I hate that, don't you? This is not going to work, is it? For some reason. Yeah, you can fill it in just like that. See, I just did a little, this is all your colours here. Isn't that fun? Think about that. I mean, there's all sorts of things that you could use for this one. This is where you get your colours. In the computer, it comes in themes. But when I do a library, when I do something in another program in Adobe, these are the sets of colours that I've actually made myself from colours that I want. So this one, I've got, you know, this lovely pink, and then mustard, yeah. And all those sorts of things, but I can also adjust the colours even more. So for me, I'm going to say the iPad is fantastic. I do them in a series, basically. So this is a series that I've done, and many of you will have seen these on Facebook, because I always share them as well. So they're lots of fun to do, and it takes all the angst out of drawing, and the more you do it, the better you become. There's lots and lots of tricks, and I can certainly show you those tricks for sure. So this is just a little introductory idea, and just to let you know what I probably will be doing. And I will do some projects and give people patterns so that they can download them and copy them. Things like this. I drew this in my sketchbook, and then I just scanned it and put it in here. Now I can colour it in. I'm colouring it in as if it's coloured pencil. When you want to colour, you just make it larger, and then you don't go outside the lines. Can you see here? Look here. See? It's lots of fun to do. Yeah. Oh. I can't just put the block colour in here because I didn't draw it in here, but yes, it works a treat. It works a treat. Oh, I don't want it like that. Now I've done it wrong. So yes, fun things to do, and I've done lots and lots and lots in the iPad. I often use it to design fabric, or alternatively, if I'm going to decide on a quilt, for instance, I've often put a quilt in here, and then I'm going to physically draw the stitches. Well, that's not going to do very well, but often I've done things like that. So I've been able to design where I want my hand stitching to go, and things like that. So let's see where it goes. I'll put this into a little movie so you can watch it, and then I'll do some classes. And I think it's better to do classes online. Then you can send in your questions rather than to have, you know, a big Zoom meeting and to do it live. But you can also send the questions in, or I might do a Zoom meeting where we can ask questions and things like that. These here I'm designing fabric to send to India. So these will be stamped on, the stamps will be made like this, and then they will be printed on indigo. So let's see how it goes.